98, 99 season, I ended up getting traded during the lockout year. Ended up getting traded for Latrell.
Yeah.
And then y'all went on a crazy run to be able to push yourselves into the championship that year. With you culminating, you hitting a game-winning shot in game number 5, I believe, down in Miami. So talk about that.
Well, first, it was an adjustment that year. Lockout, we played 55 games, so we never felt like we were an 8th seed. We were an 8th seed coming to that because we had a lot of adjustments to make. Obviously with the trade, Spree and I trying to figure it out. Marcus. We had Kurt. We had a lot of guys just trying to figure it out. Then you got to think. We're trying to figure out how to still keep an identity where Patrick is our centerpiece. And he was getting older, and you had to prepare for when times where he may not have it that night or being able to play. And so we kind of started to had to have 2 identities. We had to have one identity when Patrick was playing. We had to have another identity when he wasn't. And we started to feel like when he wasn't in there, we had to get up and down and run. We had to defend, but that was a lineup where our pace changed. And it was a lineup where a lot of teams weren't used to. But when we got to the playoffs we had to win 6 out of 8 games just to make the playoffs. That was something that I think really was the prep for that run, because before the playoffs started, we were in the playoffs. We were in an 8-game series in the playoffs and had to win 6 just to make the playoffs. So going into that Miami series, we kind of had some momentum, some rhythm, some confidence. And when you're in the playoffs, so much is rhythm and confidence and just paying attention to your matchups. And you have some plays that go right, shots that fall at the right time. And that's what happened against Miami. We put ourselves in a situation. They knew what we were going to do because we ran the same thing that they do, same matchups. And when that shot dropped, it almost like gave us such a high boost because people weren't expecting us anyway. And then think about like a seed, beating number 1 seed in New York, the city's going crazy.
That usually means something for Ewing. Out of Houston. Houston gets under. Got it. Play transfer.
You go to Atlanta, you win your first game. You win your second game, and after we won our second game, we pretty much knew it was a wrap,
Yeah.
And then you go into the Indiana series, and we had won the first game on the road every series round.
Yeah.
Won the first game in Indiana, and that was a whole other thing that we felt like, so now we got home court,
Yeah.
So we go to Miami, and we go to Indiana, win game 5. On the road, come home up 3-2, win game 6. And it was just like, and I hadn't played well in the first 3 quarters, but the thing that was unique about that series for me is my first child was about to be born. Tammy was pregnant. And I'm like, man, like any moment. So it was like this, it was intense, but it was like a elated intense because we knew that if we won game 6 at home, then we were going to kind of go into the hospital, see if, we can induce, and then I could be off to the finals. So that was in my head. Like I was thinking about the game, but I was just at this piece. And the 4th quarter came. We had a good 4th quarter, won game 6. And that was probably the most memorable game. The shot was maybe have been the most memorable shot, but game 6, when we went to the finals, was the most memorable game for me because of all the things that went into that season.
Miller is guarding Sprewell, but Houston and
You go to the finals in the Garden, like you can't even really describe it, So great run. It was unfortunate that everybody wasn't fully healthy. But, even though we didn't get it, to have that experience is it's like nothing you can describe.
Exactly. I remember that season too. It was probably took a year or two off of my career.
Yeah.
You know, some nights you would play 3 games in a row.
We had 3 of those, I think, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I tell people I never did use the ice after a game. I never had much ice on me from head to toe after games. Man, it was crazy. I can remember one stretch where we played Dallas. I think it was Dallas, Denver, and Indiana. And by the time I got to Indiana and checked into my hotel room and went upstairs, forgot my hotel room number. I came. I said, excuse me. I said, we done had a long road trip. I know you just gave me my key, and could you tell me what my room number again? Right. I was so exhausted.
Yeah.
Man. The young fellas, they were falling like flies.
Yeah.
They was falling like flies, and I'm trying to like push us towards the playoffs, and we couldn't get there. You know what I mean? Because the young guys, they were just giving up. You know, so that season right there was a grind season. I was actually in the Garden. I think what Larry hit in game number 6 made the 4th play. Yeah. And I was standing in the tunnel at the time. Yeah. And I kid him all the time, tell him he didn't get fouled.
Right.
You're like, yeah, I did.
And he's gonna say they called it, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was like electric.
11 and 9/10 seconds to go. Ward with the pass tipped but handled by Johnson. Johnson is 3-point territory but guarded tightly. Johnson cuts left, now fires a 3. It is good! And he's fouled! It counts! And he is fouled! Unbelievable!
It was so loud and it almost felt like the Garden lifted off the ground. And it was such a surreal moment to see all that play out. You know, I know where I was, and I saw LJ, and I know he was trying to console himself, trying to make, I got one more free throw. Mm-hmm. And I never heard the Garden that loud for an extended period of time besides that. I'll never forget that one moment. It was almost like the Garden just lifted off the floor. Hey, man, I really appreciate you, man, sitting down and having this conversation. It's always good catching up. Usually we can do this in person, you know, on a golf course or something, but this is definitely worth it, man. So hope you stay safe out there.
No question, bro. Good seeing you too, man. And hopefully, like I said, we can get a chance to catch up soon when this whole thing breaks. Hopefully it'll be on the golf course. But definitely, you know, you and your family stay safe, and I'll see you soon.